Welcome to Catalyzing Faith, where we seek to be a catalyst for your faith so that you can be a catalyst in the world around you. This series is called Catalyzing Questions, and our goal here is to answer many of the common questions that you are likely to encounter. And today we will be answering the question of, who created God? Alright, I was in my final year of college, and I was overhearing this conversation. This guy was recounting all the different denominations that he had tried out throughout the years and the questions he had asked and how he was gaining a deeper understanding of the Christian faith until all of a sudden it came crashing down when he encountered the question, who created God? For context, this sort of question is usually raised in response to the Christians who say, well, the universe had a beginning. And in order to explain the creation of the universe, some being, a being we call God, must exist in order to answer the question, well, what created the universe? The atheist tries to flip that question on the Christian and say, well, if you need to answer who created the universe, you need to ask the question, who created God? All right, back to the objection. And I'll say this as nicely as possible, but this is really one of those objections that should trouble nobody who has had a chance to learn some basic Christian doctrine. Seriously, the whole concept of God on Christian theology is that he is uncreated. Now, technically, there's a term called aseity. It refers to the self-existing nature of God. So if we want to get technical, we can go there, but the basic principle is that God, by definition, is self-existing and therefore not created. So when Richard Dawkins, or anyone else for that matter, asks who created God, they're literally asking who created an uncreated being. This makes about as much sense as asking who the unmarried man is married to, or asking for what the length of the fourth side of a triangle is. The question itself is nonsensical because inside the question is an assumption that itself is contradictory to the very definition of the thing it's asking about. I'll repeat that. The question is nonsensical because hidden in the question is an assumption that is contradictory to the very definition of the thing it is asking about. Unmarried men are unmarried, and therefore it doesn't make any sense to ask who the unmarried man is married to. Triangles have three sides, and therefore it doesn't make any sense to ask what the length of a fourth side of a triangle is. And similarly, God, at least as understood by the Christian, is uncreated, and therefore it doesn't make any sense to ask who created God. Let's say the atheist responds with something to the effect of, hey, you've given me no reason to believe that God is uncreated. And in a sense, they'd be right. But in another sense, a more important sense, that doesn't even matter. They are the ones trying to object to our beliefs. And if they want to have a spot at the table, right, if they want to sit in on our conversation and join the discussion, even if it's just to disagree with us, then they need to learn to use the definitions that we have for the words we are using. So when we say God exists, we're talking about an uncreated God. Now, they can choose to reject this definition. They can say, nope, I don't want to consider an uncreated God. And if that's the case, then we have no reason to even give them a spot in the conversation in the first place because they don't really want to discuss our beliefs at all. So, to put it another way, they very well may be objecting to something. But whatever they're objecting to has no relevance to Christianity. So when someone comes up to you and says, well, who created God? You can confidently say, look, that question has no relevance to my beliefs. Thanks for watching this installment of Catalyzing Questions. If you enjoyed this video, check out some of our others on this page, and while you're at it, be sure to give us a like, let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit subscribe.